Hi students, today let me introduce to you how to do determination of dissolved oxygen in water. Okay, this is done by virtual lab. So we are getting into www.vlab.co.in where we could see the broad areas. But this experiment is available in civil engineering. Okay, so we are getting into civil engineering where you could see different labs, and I'm going to choose environmental engineering lab 2. Okay, environmental engineering lab 2. This is offered by NIT Karnataka. Okay, so when I'm clicking this, we could see list of experiments. So in the list of experiments, here the sixth experiment is determination of dissolved oxygen in water. Okay, so if you are clicking that, everything will be available: the aim, theory, pre-test, procedure, simulation, post-test, references, feedback, everything is available. I am straight away going into the simulation. Okay, so here all the instructions would have been given, like how to go about this experiment. Okay, so if I am clicking this, step by step introduction, step by step instructions would have been given here, so you can follow. So first, the first step is fill a burette with sodium thiosulfate. An arrow is given here. So if you click this, the funnel will be placed onto the burette. Now open the lid of sodium thiosulfate. Then pour into the burette without any air bubble. Once the sodium thiosulfate is filled in the burette, okay, we can close it with a lid. Now the burette is filled with sodium thiosulfate, so that we can remove the funnel and adjust the zero reading. Okay, so the second step is taking the potassium dichromate. Actually, the first titration is standardization of potassium dichromate. Okay, so remove the lid first of all and fill the pipette. Fill the pipette with 20 ml of potassium dichromate. You can pour the same into the conical flask. Close the reagent bottle with the lid. Now the potassium dichromate is ready. Now we are going to add, because like potassium, acidified potassium dichromate is an oxidizing agent. So we are acidifying it by adding hydrochloric acid. Okay, so hydrochloric acid, first of all open the lid, then take 20 ml of hydrochloric acid and close the lid of the reagent bottle and pour it into the conical flask. This we call it as iodometry because there will be liberation of iodine. Now you have to add 1 spatula of potassium iodide powder into the conical flask. As soon as the potassium iodide is added, it has to be titrated. What is the normality of potassium dichromate solution taken? So questions and all you can answer. Okay, once you answer only you can go to the next step. So yeah, 0.025 N, correct answer. So I'm going to the next step. Open the knob. Now the burette is ready. Conical flask solution is ready. Open the knob so that the titration will continue. What happens is once it becomes pale yellow, you can close it and add indicator. Starch. Starch should not be added in the beginning itself. Here half the way it has to be added. So open the cork and add starch using dropping pipette or dropper. Okay, so once starch is added, the solution becomes blue in color. Again, you can continue the titration until it becomes colorless. So once it becomes colorless, you can close the knob. Solution color turns dash after adding starch. After adding starch, it becomes blue in color. Okay, so the first iteration is ready, and the burette reading we have to note it is 9.5, and this could be listed in the table, and the calculation can be done. The formula is given here, like V1 N1 is equal to V2 N2. So we know the normality of sodium thiosulfate and normality of potassium dichromate, everything is available. So you can calculate and enter the values. Once you enter the values, it will go to the next instruction. Say for example, okay, it says enter the values to proceed. Uh, you'll have to calculate. Let me put some values, say like 0.095. Okay, check. Correct. The answer is correct. So I'm going to the next one. So first iteration is standardization of potassium dichromate, and the second iteration is determination of dissolved oxygen. So here it involves so many steps. Like first of all, for whichever water we have to test dissolved oxygen, that test sample has to be taken. So take the reagent bottle. This we call it as iodine flask. Okay, so open the lid and then open the lid of the test sample. You can pour it into the reagent bottle. Once it is poured, close both. This could be closed as well as this could be closed. Which of the following indicator is used during titration? What is the indicator? It is starch. Okay, so we can move on to the next one. Now we have to add manganese sulfate. Okay, 2 ml of manganese sulfate. So I'm using the dropper. So 2 ml will be taken, which will be dropped into it. Before that, we have to open the lid. Now manganese sulfate could be added. So once it is added, I can close. And the next step is add 2 ml of alkali iodide azide reagent to BOD bottle. So this has to be pipetted out. Before that, open the lid of the bottle and pipette out 2 ml of alkali iodide. There we added actually powdered potassium iodide. Here we are adding alkali iodide azide solution. So once it is taken off, close the bottle, and this lid has to be open and add the solution. Once the solution is added, close this also. It turns brown in color. Close this. This has to be shaken for 10 to 15 minutes vigorously. Okay, so that precipitate will be formed. Shake it vigorously. Okay, mix the sample by inverting the BOD bottle several times and allow the precipitate to settle down. Okay, once shaking is over, the precipitate will settle down. Allow some time so that it settles down. Next, we have to add acid, concentrated acid. It got settled. Add concentrated sulfuric acid, 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid via graduated pipette. So open the lid of the concentrated sulfuric acid and using this, take 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid. This helps us to dissolve the precipitate. The precipitate will dissolve in concentrated sulfuric acid. Once it dissolves, I'm adding, okay, so it dissolves the precipitate. Once the precipitate dissolves, from which we can pipette out the required quantity of the, this also has to be shaken. So while shaking, it gets dissolved. So once the dissolution is over, we'll have to pipette out 200 ml of the sample water using pipette. Say if it is 100 ml pipette, you'll have to pipette twice. Now the conical flask is ready. The burette solution will have to fill the same potassium dichromate, sodium thiosulfate. Open the lid and pour it up to 0 mark. We can remove the surplus liquid to adjust 0 reading. Once the solution is filled, remove the funnel. Okay, now the burette solution as well as the pipette solutions are ready. So open the, here we are not adding the indicator in the beginning itself. First of all, it has to be titrated up to some time until this becomes pale yellow. Then only we are going to add the indicator. Okay, so open this and continue titrating. So when it becomes pale yellow, you just close it and add starch indicator. Once the starch indicator is added, again you can start titrating until it becomes colorless. When it becomes colorless, I can close the knob and read the values. Yeah, it has become colorless, so I've closed and the value is 4.5 ml. So we have the titration 2 values also that could be tabulated and the calculation could be done. The formula is given here, like normality of sodium thio and into volume of thio into 8,000. Actually 8 is the equivalent weight of oxygen, and we'll have to multiply this by 1000 because we are expressing in terms of milligrams per liter divided by volume of the sample. So when you're calculating here, you'll get a value which has to be substituted. Actually, here the volume of the sample must be taken as 200. Okay, let me put some values. It will say whether it is correct or not. It is wrong actually, so you calculate it correctly. Okay, and that will be the result. So you'll have to write the this is the result. Okay, dissolved oxygen milligrams per liter is 7.2. We can also check for different samples. Okay, so various samples will be given for which you can check the dissolved oxygen. So this is how we'll have to find out the dissolved oxygen. And usually what is the acceptable range of dissolved oxygen in water? It should be in between 4 milligrams to 7 milligrams. That is the correct answer. So acceptable limit is given, and actually here you have pop-up procedure. So if you see whatever we have done, all the procedures will be given here. All the procedures, whatever procedures we did, all the procedures are listed. Okay, so you just go through this and do the experiment on your own.